Yo, what's going on guys, Karma here, and welcome back to another boring math video here in Borderlands 3. Today we're going to be talking about action skill cooldown rates and the diminishing returns you get when you increase your cooldown rate. In this video, I'll give you several different scenarios so you can decide whether or not you want to invest into a faster cooldown. This should be a relatively short video, so let's not waste any more time and get straight into it. Starting off, how do you calculate action skill cooldown increases? Well, we are basically increasing speed. So take this for example. Let's say a car takes 10 seconds to get from point A to point B. Well, if the car gets a 100% increase in speed, that means it is going twice as fast. So you want to divide our time by 2 and we get 5 seconds. The reason why it's calculated like this is because no matter how much you increase your speed by, you will never reach 0. And this isn't a Borderlands 3 thing, it's just a math thing. You aren't removing a percentage of cooldown time, you are increasing cooldown speed. That's exactly what we are doing with action skill cooldown rates. Let's take phase cast for example. Normal phase cast has a 28-second cooldown time. And if we equip a class mod that gives us a plus 36% action skill cooldown rate, what we do is divide 28 by 1.36 and it gives us 20.6 seconds. So basically, instead of multiplying increases like we do with damage, we just divide. And like I said earlier, no matter how much you increase the speed by, you will never reach 0. So let's say you somehow get a 3000% increase to your action skill cooldown rate. Those 28 seconds will turn into 0.9 seconds, very close to 0, however you will never reach actual 0. Anyway, now I want to talk about the diminishing returns you get. Remember, our class mod with 36% increase turned 28 seconds into 20.6 seconds, where it basically shaved off 7 seconds from our cooldown time. Now, say for example, we are using Guardian ranks and we have topped off. Topped off, when your shields are full, will give you a 200% increase to your action skill cooldown rate. So we divide our 28 seconds by 3, and it gives us 9.33 seconds. So topped off alone shaved about 19 seconds from our cooldown time. So once again, this 36% alone saved us 7 seconds, and this 200% alone saved us 19 seconds. However, when combined, let's say we get the 200% from topped off and the 36% from our class mod, that is a 236% increase, so we divide by 3.36. And it equals to 8.33 seconds of cooldown time. This means that when having topped off already, if we apply this one, we're only saving an additional second to our cooldown time. This is an example of diminishing returns. Alone, it was saving us a good chunk of time. However, with topped off, this was only saving us an additional second. However, this is assuming that our shields are always at 100% capacity for topped off. And we know that's not always the case, especially on Mayhem 10. This is where your options kick in. Is it worth taking action skill cooldown rows on class mods or skills? Well, it depends. So if you have your shield broken a lot of the time, then cooldown rate from class mods will be more efficient and beneficial to have. But if you're using a low capacity shield with a fast recharge rate like the Big Boom Blaster or the Band of Sidorak, having an additional cooldown rate increase will not be as efficient. Same applies to skills that increase cooldown rate like Amara's Restless for example. Restless is a skill that when you max out, it gives you a plus 25% increase to your cooldown rate. This 25% alone will save you a good chunk of time, but if our shield and build makes very good use of topped off, then our returns won't be as good. Quick example, we have this 25%, we have 36% from our class mod, and we have 200% from topped off. That is a 261% increase to our cooldown speed. So if we were to have max shields all the time, these 28 seconds will turn into 7.8 seconds of cooldown. However, let's say our shield is broken at the time our cooldown starts, well, our cooldown speed will only have the 25% from Restless and the 36% from our class mod, so that will be a 61% increase in speed up until the point that your shield is full. Once your shield is full, you'll get that 261% bonus. So the efficiency of the 25% increase from Restless and the 36% from our class mod will depend on how fast our shield regenerates. If we have shields that regenerate extremely fast, then there's no need to use these increases because topped off will just take care of it. However, if you're using shields with high capacity and slow recharge rates, there is a higher chance that your shield will be hit before it's fully maxed out at capacity, so you won't make very good use of topped off in that scenario. So once again, the big question is action skill rate on class mods worth it? Well, like I said, it depends. For one, I would say yes. On Mayhem 10, enemies are constantly one-shotting your shield, so that additional 36% you get from class mod is going to allow you to get your action skill back in the most desperate scenarios. Sometimes you get into situations where you cannot even regen your shield because swarms of enemies just keep shooting you. Without any additional increases to your cooldown rates, it will sometimes feel like forever before you get your action skill. There are a few exceptions though. For example, if you're using a shield with the low capacity and a fast recharge rate like the Banasitarak or Big Boom Blaster like I said for example, these shields will regen extremely fast, therefore making very good use of topped off. In these situations, you do not want to take any action skill cooldown rate increases. You also have to consider what you use your action skill for. If you use it for anointments, then you want to keep an eye on your cooldown and try to get a cooldown that ends around the time your anointments end. You don't want to run around for 5 seconds without any anointments procced, awaiting for your action skill cooldown. And if you notice that topped off isn't enough, then you might want to spec into skills that increase cooldown rate or get class mods with that passive. And one final exception is Zane's barrier. If you're using Zane with the barrier and you hardly ever get your shield broken, then you definitely do not want to get action skill cooldown rate increases because topped off will just do a fantastic job on its own. And with this guys, we have arrived at the end of the video. Let me know what you all think about this. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to drop a like on this video, and if you want to subscribe for more content like this, that'll be awesome as well. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.